I'm really excited to be here today, and I feel very lucky because today I get to speak about something that I'm so passionate about, which is weight loss. Really passionate about it. I've lost over 20 kgs, and I feel blessed because I get to spend my time helping other people to do the same thing. So I actually help other people to lose weight too, and it's so fulfilling for me. And I like to share about my transformation as well. I post lots of pictures and videos online. I share a lot about it on my social media, and when I do this, I get so many questions. Everybody wants to know, Dr. Kunda, what did you do to lose all of this weight? What is your secret? And I have to be honest, I sometimes find these questions a little bit difficult to answer because, it feels like people are expecting me to reveal this trendy new diet that I'm on. Like, they want me to say something like, I only eat this, and this, or I only eat between this and this time, or I've been drinking this magic potion. People expect that kind of answer. But really, what did I do to lose weight? I ate well and I exercised. That's what I did. That's the simple, boring truth, is what I did to lose weight was healthy eating and exercise. But that's not news. Who here can tell me they've never heard that healthy eating and exercise are the keys to weight loss? Who's never heard this? Everyone's heard it, right? And actually, you can find this information out from a simple Google search. You go on Google, you type in, how do you lose weight? And it's going to tell you healthy eating and exercise. This is common knowledge. There's nothing new about this information. In fact, did you know that how to lose belly fat fast, like that statement, how to lose belly fat fast, that's one of the most Googled things worldwide. That fact blew my mind. People all over the world are Googling how to lose belly fat fast. That's how much people want to know this information. And that just tells us how many people around the world are struggling with weight loss issues. And I'm a public health specialist, so I like to work with statistics. So let's look at some stats. So global obesity statistics. Over 1 billion people worldwide are living with obesity. That's 1/8 of the world population. That's a lot of people. 1/8 of the world population. And that's 43% of adults are actually overweight. And 16% are classified as obese. And sadly, this problem is not limited to adults alone. It affects children as well. 390 million children are overweight, and 190 million of them are obese worldwide. These statistics, you agree, this is sad, right? This is staggering. And this is where it now gets even scarier. The World Health Organization estimates that by 2035, low and middle income countries like where we are right now will actually have the highest burden, will bear the greatest burden of obesity worldwide. So you can imagine, on top of the HIV and the TB and the malaria and the STIs, we will also have the highest burden of obesity, right? Which will come with more diabetes, more hypertension, more heart disease, more strokes. How will we survive? We are barely getting by, right? And yet, the solution to obesity is just a Google search away. We know the answers. A lack of information is not the issue. So what then is the issue? Habits. The world is devoid of healthy habits. We know what to do, but we cannot get ourselves to do it. And that is the real issue. We have the information, exercise and eating healthy, but we cannot get ourselves to do it, and that's why the world is suffering with obesity. But why is that? Why is it that we cannot get ourselves to do that which we already know we must do? So what are some of the barriers? First of all, we can't ignore where we are, right? We are in Lusaka, Zambia. And in Lusaka, Zambia, when you start working out and eating right, you start hitting the gym and you're losing weight, you run into a relative, they're not going to say, oh, you look like you've been working on yourself, you look good, you've lost some weight. They're going to say, what's going on? You body means you're wealthy, you're more prosperous. You know, the most portly man is the wealthiest man in the village. You can see he's rich from the size of his body. Or the thicker a woman is, the more attractive she is. Now, don't get me wrong, it's all well and good for everyone to have their preferences, right? But surely not at the cost of good health. I don't know many people my age or older who grew up seeing their parents working out, you know. And the fact is, these principles of healthy eating and exercise culturally are new to us. That's the truth, and that's the cultural norm that we have to overcome. Because this affects the way we take care of our bodies, the way we feed our families, which affects our waistlines and affects our health. So cultural norms, societal norms. I remember when I first took up running, I'd always make sure that I ran before the sun came up, before it got too bright outside. Because every time I ran when it was bright outside, I get the strangest looks. You know, people would just stare at me and it would be so uncomfortable. So I always ran when it was still a little bit dark outside, until I noticed how comfortable it was to see, you know, how normal it seemed to see someone walking down the street smoking a cigarette. It seems so normal, you know, someone would just be walking down the street, puffing away, happy as can be, and no one bats an eye. And I thought to myself, well, that's ridiculous, you know? And now I run in the middle of the day if I please. And that's what it takes. You have to overcome what society thinks is normal. If you're going to be someone who successfully loses weight, you have to be okay with standing out. You have to be okay with being the different one. Because guess what? Those statistics we just saw, most of those people will not lose weight. I'm not trying to be negative, that's the truth. Most of those people will not lose weight. They will live their entire adult lives overweight. Some will try, most will fail. That's the truth. And even among the ones that do lose weight, most will eventually gain the weight back. That's the sad truth. So if you have to defy these odds, you have to be okay with being odd. You have to be okay with being the odd one out, because that's what it takes to lose weight and keep it off for good. Societal norms. Denial. On a personal level, denial. As a weight loss coach, one of the things that I hear most from new clients is, you know, but I don't even eat that much. And you know, these are uncomfortable conversations to have. I know that, believe me. These are uncomfortable things, they're difficult things to admit, even to yourself. I had to have these conversations with myself, and it wasn't easy. It's not easy to admit that, you know, I'm in this position because there's something that I've been doing that has not been okay. Something needs to change. That's difficult to admit. But you have to take accountability if you are really going to make a change. And I know sometimes there's shame attached to it, you know, but you know what, at the end of the day, it's just fact. It's just fact. It's not like you have some irreversible condition that you have to just live with. It's just fact, and because it's just fact, you can decide at any point to get rid of it. You can decide, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be overweight. I don't want to be obese, and I'm getting rid of it. But that starts with taking accountability for the habits that have gotten you where you are. Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. He said, we are. R is the conjugation of the verb to be. He was referring to our state of being. We are our habits. And one of the most powerful and effective ways that I use this myself and I use this with my clients to help them adopt new habits is actually a visualization exercise. We've already done a visualization exercise today, so I know you're familiar with what this is. But this one is specifically to help you to adopt new habits to lose weight. So in this exercise, you have to imagine yourself as you desire to be. So you imagine, you form a very vivid image in your mind of that which you desire, which could be someone who is 20, 30, 40 kg lighter, whatever your weight loss goal may be. Imagine that in your mind and think, what does this person look like? You know, make it very vivid. What do they look like? And most importantly, how do they behave? How does this person behave? What habits do they have? How do they show up at meal times? What do they eat? What do they have for breakfast? This healthier version of yourself. What do they eat for breakfast? Probably not a donut and a Fanta. What do they eat at snack time? Probably not ice cream and chocolate every chance they get. Imagine this healthier version of yourself. How do they work out? They probably get to the end of the workout. Imagine this person and what habits they have. And the reason that this exercise is so important, first of all, it shows you that the person you are now and the person you want to be are two different people. They're actually two different people. Quantum physicists will tell you these are actually two different people in two different universes, experiencing two different realities, but we won't get into that. The point is, these are two different people. Why? Because they have different habits. They have different habits, and we are our habits. So these are two different people. And so this means the fastest way for you to leap from where you are, your current weight, to the weight you want to be is by adopting that person's habits now. Adopting that person's habits now. That's the fastest way to do it. The second reason this exercise is really important is it shows you that becoming who you want to be is actually a practice. We hear a lot, success is not a journey, it's not about, the destination, it's about the journey, right? And this is true for weight loss, and more than that, it's not just about the journey, it's actually a practice. Because guess what? When you get to that desired weight, that weight you want to be, you're going to have to keep that up. You won't get there and say, "Ooh, that was hard. Thank God that's over. Now I'll just sit on the couch and eat chips." You can't do that, because then the weight will come back. Then the weight will literally come back. You have to get into the practice so that you get good at being that version of you. It's in adopting that person's habits now and doing them over and over and over again until one day you look up and you're there. You're literally 20, 30, 40 kg lighter because you are practicing those habits now. Second secret to sustainable weight loss is strategy. So at this point, you know about your habits, you are committed to developing them, but what's your weight loss strategy? What will you actually be doing? So just some basic biology that you need to understand. 4 hormones. You have your cortisol. This hormone is highest first thing in the morning. About an hour after you wake up, 6 a.m., you get a surge of cortisol throughout your body. Highest first thing in the morning. You have your thyroid hormone. So cortisol, first of all, is basically going to turn your body into a high activity machine. So anything that you eat when your cortisol is high will be used up by the body. It's very unlikely that those calories will be stored as fat when your cortisol is high. Second hormone is your thyroid hormone. This hormone regulates metabolic rate. And it's also highest first thing in the morning when you wake up. Third hormone is leptin. This hormone helps control your appetite. And when leptin is high, it initiates a series of metabolic activities that speed up fat burning metabolic activities. So you have your cortisol, thyroid, and leptin, which are highest first thing in the morning. So they gradually decline as the day goes on, reaching their lowest levels after 6 p.m. So what this means is if you have about at least 80% of your calories in the first portion of the day, that's between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., you are more likely to use that food as glucose. It will be taken up by your body. Why? Because these 3 hormones are high and your body is in a high activity state. You are unlikely to be storing body fat in that state. But if you are ending your day with a big dinner, you are eating most of your calories after 6 p.m., you are more likely to store fat. That's what that means. Then insulin is a little bit different because it's lowest first thing in the morning before you eat anything. You were fasting while you were asleep, and so your insulin will be lowest first thing in the morning. So if you can exercise before you eat anything, because when insulin is low, the body will be converting fat into glucose in a process called gluconeogenesis. So converting fat to glucose. So if you can work out first thing in the morning before you eat anything, you can drink water, but while your insulin is still low, before you consume anything that would cause it to spike, you actually be mostly burning fat. This is some basic biology that you must know. So what should you eat? We're talking weight loss strategy. What should you actually eat? Now, I could go into a list of how you need to cut out the fried foods and the processed foods and the refined sugar and the joy from your life, but I find it more useful to actually focus on what you need to add to your diet instead. Did you know that obesity is a sign of a nutrient deficiency? Did you know that being obese is actually a sign that your diet is deficient in nutritional fiber? Because if you're having as much fiber as you need, you cannot be obese. It's very, very difficult to be obese when you're having as much fiber as you need to be having. And there are many sources of fiber, many foods that will give you fiber. But today I want to draw your attention to one type of food in particular, living foods. So this is referring to your raw, uncooked, fresh fruit and vegetables, called living foods because they contain within them active enzymes that have not been denatured by heat in the process of cooking. This food is raw, so this food is basically alive. So the really good thing about living foods is not only is it a high fiber diet, you'll be having lots of fiber, which is going to help you lose weight because your appetite will be controlled, your blood sugar levels will be controlled, you will be able to reverse any existing insulin resistance, which will help you to lose weight. Your bathroom habits will also improve when you're having a high fiber diet, and all of these things are going to contribute to you losing weight. But the really cool thing about living foods is they improve your immunity as well. Really good for your immunity. And on top of that, they're good for longevity, living longer. Evidence suggests that having living foods actually helps you live longer. One of my favorite health influencers, Dr. Aris Latham, a man in his 80s, he's a raw food vegan, he's still climbing coconut trees in Jamaica, energetic as ever. And he likes to say, it's not the food in your life that matters, it's the life in your food that matters, living foods. How should you work out to lose weight? What type of workouts should you do? I see a lot of people, and exercise is a part of weight loss that can be really intimidating for people who are just starting out. I see this with a lot of my clients. And we all know, come January, New Year's resolutions, you join the gym, get a membership. By mid-February, the gas just burns out and you lose motivation and you quit. So what type of workouts should you be doing to lose weight? The thing is, our bodies were meant for movement. Our bodies were meant for movement. So if the gym has not worked out, surely there must be some form of exercise that is for you. The gym is not for everyone. Not everyone is meant to be a CrossFitter, Try something else. Try a home workout. Watch a YouTube video and work out from home. Jog, walk, jump, skip, take it outside, go cycling, go for a hike. And don't underestimate the value of low impact steady state cardio for weight loss, like walking. Walking is very powerful for weight loss. Did you know that walking 10,000 steps a day is the equivalent of running 70 marathons a year? 70 marathons a year. If you don't lose weight from running 70 marathons a year, then I don't know what to do with. I once spoke to someone who plays golf, and he told me he walks 20,000 steps on the golf course, at least 20,000 steps on the golf course as he plays, and it doesn't even feel like exercise. So maybe if the gym is not working out, what you really need is to get a Lusaka Golf Club membership, You do that 3 times a week, that's your 70 marathons a year right there. So find a form of movement that feels joyful to you. If the gym is not working out, try something else. Find something that feels joyful, and as you do it, as you start to lose weight, your body gets lighter, you will feel the natural inclination to increase the intensity. It's very natural. It will come. You want to do more and more. Follow that inclination and you will keep losing weight. Third secret to weight loss success is presence. Presence, which means being here. Just truly being present in the moment and present with our bodies. most people are not here. Most people are actually not here. They are either mostly living with the regrets of the past, or the worries of the future that hasn't even arrived, or just trying to escape the present moment, usually by the use of excessive stimulation, excessive physical and mental stimulation. This can be in the form of alcohol or substances, overeating, the constant need for entertainment, the constant need for companionship, external validation. All of these things are just opiums that people use to avoid truly being present within the moment and present with their bodies. Now, how does this relate to weight loss? Our bodies are very intelligent. Our bodies are more intelligent than we know. Your body is able to tell you when you're hungry, you need to eat. Your body tells you when you're thirsty, when you need to get some rest. And in the same way, your body also tells you when you're full. Your body tells you when you've had enough to eat, but you keep eating. You keep eating. Why? Because you're not present. You're not present within your body. Your body will tell you when you need some exercise. Your body will tell you that, but you're not listening. Why? Because you're not present within your body. Your body will actually tell you what foods you don't tolerate, specifically to you. Your body will tell you, you know what, this is not going down the right way. But if you're not present within your body, you cannot hear it. If you're not present within your body, you cannot hear it. Our bodies are intelligent. So what then is the solution? The solution is to do whatever work you need to do on yourself to quiet your mind so that you can finally be present within your body. This will look different for everyone. It could be mental health work. You might need some therapy. You might need some counseling. You might need to end some toxic relationships so you can quiet your mind and be fully present within your body and finally hear it. And if you can do this, if you can truly cut off supply from these opiums that prevent you from being present in your body, you will actually see that weight loss is so easy. It's the easiest thing. It's as simple as setting an intention and allowing your body to get you there, because your body already knows. Your body already knows what your ideal weight should be. It already knows. So what we're calling weight loss is just your body finally beginning to calibrate to optimal levels, to optimal settings, because the environment is finally allowing it to do so. So what do you do if you're doing your habits, you've got your habits down and your strategy down, and you're doing your very best to be present within your body, but it's not working? Because truthfully, weight loss takes time. It takes time. It's not going to be, it might take longer than a couple of months. It takes some time. So what do? I could tell you to remember your why, remember why you're doing this. And it's like, yeah, I'm doing this because I want to look good and feel good and be healthy. But sometimes remembering why is not enough. So what then do? First, shift the focus of your obsession. Instead of weighing yourself incessantly every day, twice a day, every other day, even every week, my advice is put the scale away. Just put it away. And shift the focus of your obsession from the result, which is seeing the number on the scale drop, to the process. Become obsessed with what you're putting in your body. Become that person who checks labels. How much sugar is in this? What am I really eating? Become obsessed with preparing your meals in advance. Meal prepping for the week. Making sure you have healthy food in the house. Counting your steps every day. Become obsessed with the process. Because when you obsess over the process, the results will come. The results will come. They have no choice. Sometimes people tend to think it's humble to think they won't succeed. It's humble to say, oh, what if I put in all of this hard work, but it just never works out for me? They think it's humble to do that. But I actually believe that's very arrogant. It's very arrogant to think that the laws of science will fail just on you alone. That you are so especially misfortunate that the laws of science that say if you eat right and exercise, they're going to create a caloric deficit that will allow you to lose weight. That law is going to fail just on you alone. You would be more humble to actually believe, you know what, if I put in the work, just like millions of people who have, I too will lose weight. So shift the focus of your obsession from the results to the process. Secondly, take weight loss off the pedestal. You need to realize that it's not really the number on the scale that you want. Like it's not really seeing a smaller number that you want. What you really want is being the person who sees the number on the scale. So it's not the weight loss that's the goal, it's you. You are the goal. The better you is the goal. That healthier version of yourself, that's the real goal. So what should be on the pedestal is not the weight loss, but you. And when you think of it this way, you shift your internal rhetoric, the things that you say to yourself. It changes from I'm doing this to lose weight to I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this because I love myself so much that I want to be the absolute best version of myself. That's why I'm doing this. And when you do this, you find that you become so immersed in the process of becoming the best version of yourself that weight loss becomes something that just happens along the way to you becoming a better you. And it's funny, the moment you are not chasing after something so much, it tends to come to you easier. I don't know why it's that way. It's like, the moment you lose interest in someone is when they start to pursue you more, or so I've heard. I don't know. But some people call this the law of detachment. So detach from the result. And finally, play the long game. Play the long game. Don't just switch things up. I know the T in setting smart goals stands for time bound, right? But when it comes to your health, I would advise you to just forget the deadline. Like forget that you want to lose this weight in this amount of time. Yes, that's good for tracking. But when it comes to your health, forget about the deadline and just play the long game. You don't just switch things up for a few months so that you can fit in that dress for your birthday or for the wedding. No, think longer than that. Is the way you are living your life, your lifestyle, is it compatible with living a long, healthy life? When you look at the design of the human body, this structure is supposed to last longer than 70 years. But most people don't make it to 70 years. Why? Lifestyle. So ask yourself, is the way you're living your life compatible with having a long, healthy life? Are you going to age well? The way you eat, will you age well? Having little to no exercise, a sedentary lifestyle, are you going to age well? Drinking copious amounts of alcohol, are you going to age well? Play the long game. And so there you have it, the three not so secrets to sustainable weight loss. You have your habits, your strategy, and presence. And when you really learn these and you practice them, you're going to take control of your waistline, your weight, your health, and your life. And so try them out. I highly suggest that you try these out. And when they work for you, and they will, don't keep it to yourself. Pass it on. Pass it on. Thank you for listening.